Yo, what's up guys? Joker bringing you another video. This time it's going to be a video going over the basics of the trade site because I saw this post from Empyrean the other day where he was reacting to a comment. Well, I guess he just posted the comment on Twitter, right? That he got on one of his videos where this guy was like, oh man, you sold a greater jeweler's orb for 36x. You lost so much money. They're selling for one divine on the trade site. And I'm like, there's no way that that's true. So I went to the trade site and I took a look and I'm like, oh my God, literally all of them are showing as one divine. Now, personally, don't I would recommend that you don't buy like raw currency off of the trade site. That is the reason the currency exchange does exist, right? It goes ahead and it kind of like pseudo stops price fixing for at least a little part because you have the ability of sorting for just exalts, which I'm going to show you how to do on the trade site right now as well, in case you still want to use the trade site. So you're going to do your search, and then in the filters at the very bottom, you're going to go to buyout price and you're going to go to exalt. This is what you're going to do on any and everything that you plan on buying from the trade site until they update the value of divines on the trade site, because divines are going to show as one of the most relevant currencies in this case, right? Because everyone's listing them for divines, but they're not worth a divine. So this not only helps you price check it, it helps make sure that you don't lose 80, 90 exalts, because that's really the price difference between a divine and a 27 exalt item, right? That's a lot of currency for a lot of players, especially a lot of new players. So that's the first tip that I'm giving you about the trade site. The next thing is we're going to cover the trade site ever so briefly. I don't want this video to be infinitely long. I can definitely make another video going more in depth on several things because the trade site does have a lot of diversity in what you can do with it, right? You can look up very specific items, and a lot of people actually use the trade site to make a large amount of currency just using live searches and very specific search requirements, right? So let's go over it real quick. On the left-handed side, you're going to see a bunch of filters. Starting at the top, the item category is going to be relatively obvious. This is going to be the type of item that you are buying. So let's say that you're looking for an item that has life and resistance, right? You would go over here and let's say you're looking for a ring. This makes sure that you're not getting a bunch of chest plates, helmets, boots. Make sure that you're looking for that one specific type. One step further, you're going to want to go ahead and click any non-unique unless you're looking for a specific unique, but at that point you'd be looking by the item name, not specific stats. This makes sure that all the items that you find are only going to be rare and below. Item level matters somewhat. To a lot of people, it is not going to matter. The item level essentially determines what modifiers can roll on that item. For this example, even though I'm showing a quiver, for a quiver to roll the highest tier of added lightning damage, it would have to be an item level 76 quiver, right? Now, quality, once again, quality doesn't matter as much because a lot of times you're going to be putting on quality yourself. So you can put minimum quality 20. That would mean that you only find items that have at least 20 quality. The thing you have to remember about the quality is that it boosts the stats. So if you're looking for something like a ring that has like 20 fire res, 20 cold res, and like 60 life, right? You're going to want to put a max quality of 0. That way, it's going to be showing you items that meet these requirements without inequality, right? This is going to make it so you can put a different type of catalyst on it, or make sure that the base tier of a modifier is at a certain level, right? Because it's a 20% increase for the quality on normal rings and a 50% for quality on breach rings. So the stats can be drastically increased just by quality. And in the case of breach rings, it can actually be counted as pretty much 1 or 2 tiers higher because of quality, and you end up with a subpar item. So that's the first thing that I wanted to show you about. The next thing is make sure that you are not buying corrupted items. Under miscellaneous filters, it is going to have a corrupted here. What this is going to go ahead and do is it's going to take away any item that is corrupted. Why do you not want corrupted items? Well, you can't craft on corrupted items, and you can't socket on a corrupted item. So let's go ahead and change this to like a helmet, right? If we go ahead and put on show the case of a helmet, if these items were corrupted, I would lose out on the fact that it doesn't have quality and it doesn't have a socket, let alone anything socketed into it, right? Let's go here and let's just change this to yes for the example. If it's yes, you can put a rune in here, but you can't quality it. So you lose out on 20% quality. This doesn't have a socket and it doesn't have quality. You're losing out on a huge amount of stats just by chancing buying a corrupted item. So make sure that for item quality, you can go ahead and have it empty where it'll show you items that have quality and items that don't, or you can just put 0 as the max, meaning that the modifiers that you're looking for are going to make sure that they fall at least of a specific tier, right? At a baseline, my items I'm searching for are going to have at least 20 res before any kind of additional modification, right? So next thing that I want to go ahead and show you is going to be how to breed the site, essentially. Probably should have been the first thing I showed you, but it's whatever. These modifiers on the left are essentially going to be what is usually at the top of an item, right? It's going to be essentially the stuff that's implicit to the bow, the physical damage, crit hit chance, attack speed, and on the armor, it's going to be things like the armor and the evasion rate. Those top implicit modifiers, that is what you're going to be able to see with these left-hand search modifiers. So let's say that I want an energy shield and evasion helmet, right? We have a super easy way of searching that. We are going to put maximum armor at 0. This means that the item that we find cannot have armor on it, right? It's going to be only energy shield and evasion items. Those are the only bases that you find with this type of search, because you're turning the maximum armor to 0. You can go one further. You can turn evasion to 0 as well, and it'll give you only energy shield items, energy shield bases. Same thing, you can go ahead and say that you want a minimum of 1 energy shield and 1 evasion. This is going to be showing you only energy shield evasion bases. It helps a lot when you're trying to build with specific items, right? Let's say that you're trying to buy an item, but it turns out being like an armor base that you can't use on your character, right? Let's say you're an intelligence-based class and you need a helmet with life and resistance. This is showing you exactly that, a helmet with life and resistance, but it has a high strength and dex requirement, right? Well, not particularly high, but higher than you would like, especially if you're a class that has only primarily 1 stat, right? Let's say you're like a witch and you're going pure intelligence. If you're looking for an item that has strength and dex requirements, even if it fills out your stat requirements, you're not going to be able to use it, and you're not going to want to rework your character to be able to actually equip it either. Now, from there, what we can go ahead and do is you can take a look at any of these modifiers. Like I said, these are the modifiers at the top of the item. So for things like crit chance, physical damage, those are obviously going to be on weapons. You can't say you want a minimum of 1 physical damage on a helmet. That does not exist, right? So make sure that you select the right modifiers. In addition, I just noticed this today. You can make sure that the items that you are buying have empty sockets, right? I'm trying to buy a helmet, so it can't have a it can't have a max. It is going to have a minimum of 1 empty socket. This means that any item that shows up on the trade site is going to not only have 1 empty socket, it's going to be not corrupted, and it's going to not have quality. Those are 3 huge increases that you can add onto a base item. It can turn a very niche or mid item into a fairly decent item. Those are the most basic settings of the filter that you really want to familiarize yourself with. The item category, the item quality, empty sockets, the requirements, and not corrupted, right? At a base, make sure you understand at least that. Oh, I'm sorry. And the buyout price, because since the trade site is messed up, like I was initially mentioning, that you would want to make sure that this says exalted orbs as well, in case people are trying to price for divines. On top of that, you can go ahead and set a maximum buyout price where it will not show you any items that are over 10 exalts, right? I want to buy an item that is in an evasion and energy shield base, and I want it to have fire res, cold res, and max life. I want to buy this item for exalts. I do not want it to be corrupted, and I want it to have empty sockets. This is going to give me everything that I just asked for, right? It's going to give me an item that has the mods that I'm looking for, that matches the type of base that I'm looking for, an ES Energy Shield base that has an empty socket, so I can put in either a Iron Rune and get more evasion and energy shield, or I could put in res, or I could put in rarity, or I could put in whatever. I have the option because a rune is not already socketed into it. On top of the fact that I am able to make sure that I buy this item for under 10 exalted orbs, right? Make sure that I have the amount of currency. I'm not seeing items that I cannot purchase. Let's say I only have 10 exalts saved up, right? This makes sure that I'm able to buy any item that I look for. And you can even make it more specific. Let's say you want to use exactly 10 exalts for whatever reason. It's going to show you the items that are only 10 exalts and meet your other requirements as well. So we're going to move away from this helmet example and these left side filters, because that's all you really need to know, quote unquote. But that's all I'm going to really cover in this video, because we're already at 14 minutes. Next, we're going to be going over searches. Searches in the stat filter there's a lot, right? They can be extremely specific. You've probably seen some people do searches with the weighted sum. Weighted sum is really confusing, so I am not going to be covering it in this video. Like I said, I can make another video, but I'd title it more of like intermediate stuff to really know about the trade site, because this is just basic stuff I want you guys to know. So for stat filters, you have a couple of ways of looking up items. You're going to use an AND search, and you're going to be using a count search. right? These are going to be the two easiest searches for new players to use. This is a pool of modifiers that you want an item to pick from. So let's say fire res, lightning res, cold res, chaos resistance. We want rarity. What else can roll on a helmet? That's pretty much it. Okay. And then we want to make sure it has at least 100 life. So essentially what this search is going to give us, which it might actually return back with nothing, but here's hoping. Let's set this to 25, 25, 25, 20, 20. Let's go ahead and set this to 2. This may come back with nothing because this is a very specific search, but here's to hoping, right? What this is essentially, oh, awesome. It came back with items. Thank you. What this is searching for now at this point is we're looking for a helmet that doesn't have quality, that has energy shield and evasion. So it's going to be a hybrid base. It has an empty rune socket. It's not corrupted, so we can modify it. It's 10 exalts. And once again, we can erase them in if you want to add items under 10 exalts. And it is a helmet that has 100 life minimum and 2 other desirable modifiers, right? It's either going to have 25 fire, lightning, cold, chaos, res, or it's going to have rarity. So if we go ahead and take a look, this item has fire res, chaos res, cold res, 10 exalts, and it has 159 life, right? These are going to be some of the cheapest items that you can find. And the more you familiarize yourself with the filter and the trade site, the easier it is for you to buy stronger items for lower prices. Since this video is relatively long, I appreciate if you guys watch through the entire thing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. If you would like that more in-depth video on the trade site, I'm more than happy to put that out, but it's going to cover stuff that's not in this generic basics. It's going to be more of like an intermediate search, how to use like better Path of Exile trade and stuff like that to help target items that you want for essentially the lowest price, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I already said that don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if this helped. If not, I'm sorry. Tell me I'm an idiot. But yeah, until next time, take care.